What's the craziest thing you've ever found in your room after coming back from vacation? After 2 weeks backpacking through Europe, all I wanted was my own bed. I dragged my suitcase up 3 flights of dorm stairs, slid my key into the lock, pushed open the door, and walked straight into a plastic wall. I froze. A giant clear tarp hung from the ceiling, dividing our tiny dorm room perfectly in half like some makeshift quarantine zone. For a second, I thought I'd walked into the wrong room. Then my roommate Derek poked his head around the corner wearing a surgical mask. "Stay back," he said. "You've just come from international travel." I blinked. It was 3 p.m. on a Tuesday in a college dorm, not the CDC. Derek launched into an explanation about global disease transmission rates. He'd printed charts, taped them to his side of the room, and labeled them with infection statistics from different European countries. According to him, my suitcase alone was a biological hazard. Then I spotted the bathroom, or rather, what used to be the bathroom. He'd sealed the entire doorway with painter's tape, floor to ceiling, like he was prepping for fumigation. A handwritten sign read, "Contamination risk. Use floor bathroom until further notice." The floor bathroom was 3 flights down and shared by 40 people. I asked what he expected me to do, and he handed me a typed 3-page document titled Post-Travel Safety Protocol. It included a 72-hour isolation period, daily temperature checks, and something called clothing sterilization procedures. That was it. I marched straight to our RA. Tommy, our RA, was usually reasonable, so I figured he'd shut this down instantly. But when he walked in, saw the plastic wall, and started nodding like it was normal, my jaw dropped. Turns out he and Derek were best friends from freshman orientation. Derek had already told him he was immunocompromised and needed protective measures. Tommy actually said Derek was being proactive about health safety. He compared the plastic divider to temporary decorations. I pointed at the tarp slicing our room in half, and he acted like it was no different than Christmas lights. That night, I ignored the barricade and used our bathroom anyway. Big mistake. The second I shut the door, Derek crouched outside, spraying Lysol under the crack, shouting about creating an aerosol barrier. I had to shower to the soundtrack of frantic disinfectant spraying. The next morning, it got worse. I woke up to find a motion-activated air freshener aimed directly at my bed. Every time I shifted under the covers, it blasted a cloud of vanilla so strong it made my eyes water. I sneezed, and Derek immediately retreated further behind his plastic wall like I'd just coughed up the plague. That was my breaking point. I marched to the main housing office with photo evidence. The coordinator flipped through the pictures, raised her eyebrows higher with each one, and finally asked, "Is this real? Come see for yourself," I said. 20 minutes later, she was in our doorway, staring at Derek's homemade quarantine setup. Derek tried explaining the scientific basis for his system, waving charts like he was defending a dissertation. She cut him off mid-sentence. "You have until Friday to remove every single piece of plastic, tape, and equipment, or you'll be relocated to a single room." Derek sputtered about tenant rights. She didn't blink. "Your rights don't include converting shared housing into an unauthorized medical facility." By Friday afternoon, Derek was gone, and I finally got a normal roommate who thought the scariest part of international travel was jet lag. But to this day, whenever I pass by another dorm, I half expect to see a plastic sheet taped to the ceiling, because somewhere on campus, Derek is definitely still fighting his one-man war against airborne pathogens.